I really live for doing live videos. I'm not even gonna act like
What's up, everyone? How are you doing today? Today is what day today? Tuesday.
Oh, yep.
I
September
believe.
11th. Okay, let's get to it. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. We are
The temboway.
The temboway. My name is Paul. I'm one of the co-founders, and this is.
My name is Evans, and I am also a co-founder.
And for those of y'all who've never, ever heard of us before, heard of the temboway before, welcome. For those of y'all who are like loyally riding with us, thank you for being here. For those of y'all who love what we do, thanks for sharing and just being a part of it.
For sure.
I really think, and I want to really talk about this for a little bit. There's certain things that people really dive into, and I think it makes a difference. And I think for some people, they definitely get to listen to what we do. They get to listen to our videos, to the podcast, to the Instagram stuff. Go check it out at the temboway, and it just really makes a difference. So thank you for being here.
No problem.
Anyway, so today we're going to talk about something that needs to be spoken about, and this is the transition. As you can see, the title is called The MAMBA Mentality, subtitles, The Transition, or subcaption, The Transition. The transition. So, there comes a magical time when a student graduates high school, and they have to move from high school to, most people, is college, right? Not everybody. Because remember, it's not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
But, they have to make that transition from that structured schedule for them where somebody made your schedule and gave you these options. You got to take English 12, whatever, public speaking, speech, all this. And then, you get to choose a couple of these things. And you go to class from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. And that is your schedule every single day for 30 weeks a year. And it's made for you. And now you're transitioning from this kind of schedule, from this kind of structured for you, to structuring your own life. And not only that, you're doing it where you're going away from home. Most people are going away from home. I mean, we went away from home, right? Most people are going away from home, and they're miles, hours, flights away. And they have to now go from having things done for them to doing things for themselves. They have to do that whole believing in themselves aspect of things, right? Different animal, but the same beast. Kobe Bryant once famously said this in one of his Kobe System commercials, right? And in there, he's talking to Kanye West, and he's like, you need more success. You need more of this. You have to be a different animal, but the same beast. For those of y'all in high school, you're killing it right now, right? You're getting after it. Every single day you're on it. You're killing your assignments. You're killing your exams. You're probably getting ready to take your ACT and your SATs. And, we're going to get into that a little bit. But you're killing that, right? But for those of y'all who've already finished, who went into that transition, who are going into that transition, who are preparing to go into that transition, you have to learn now how to be a different animal, right? So I started out this year, and I want to say it like this. I think I personally started out this year, if I was to give myself an animal, I'd be more like a leopard, all right?
Leopard?
A leopard.
Oh, no.
Leopards are still lethal. Leopards still kill.
I'll be a butterfly.
Leopards, they scare me.
Exactly.
Leopards still get after it. But now I could almost say I've transitioned to my favorite animal, a lion. A different animal, but the same beast. They both are still kings of their own, niches. They're both still dominating out in the wild. But the difference is, nobody looks at a leopard and says, that's the king of the jungle.
No.
They look at a lion and say, that's the one. Nobody made the leopard king. They made the lion king. There's a reason why. Because people look at the lion and they say, that's the symbolism of greatness right there. A different animal, but the same beast. For y'all really jumping into it, you have to learn now how to start thinking on a whole different level. With entrepreneurship, with just even going into your studies, right? With, anything you do, money management, with purchasing, you have to learn how to think in a completely different way.
And a lot of it comes from tying in back into our series last week, Define Your How, the Why, the Who, the Where. A lot of this comes from research. A lot of kids say, I want to go to this school, I want to go to that school, I want to do this major, this is my field, but you need to do adequate research where you know what you're getting yourself into. That way you are mentally prepared to take it on. You don't want to get caught. You know what they say, slipping. You don't want to.
You don't want to get caught.
You don't want to get caught slipping.
No?
You get into a situation where you're not aware, you're not mentally, ready for it.
Yeah.
Then you're screwed.
Yeah.
You trust me. That's the worst place to be. Trust me.
Hey, and
It's the worst place to be. You wanna research and know what you're getting yourself into. Whether it's a place you're getting into, you moving to, the career you're choosing, the school, specifically the schools, because different schools, different things. The curriculums are different. The staffing is different. You go to one school where professors are more hands-on, where they're willing to help you because it's a smaller school, or you go to a bigger school like University of Michigan, where you have a couple hundred kids in the class, and the professor's like, you're just a number to me.
Literally.
If you show up, you show up. You get it done, it happens.
Yeah.
So do adequate research and know what you're getting yourself into to help that transition be smooth, fluent, and perspective.
Let's kind of give a little personal examples. I'm going to give one, right? So, the transition. For Paul, co-founder of the thetemboway, years ago when I started undergrad, right? I was not ready or prepared for what college was going to bring to me.
I don't think anyone is really.
I mean, I wasn't ready.
I don't think anyone is. We like to tell ourselves, and I think the way we kind of tell ourselves we're ready, we go through the process of going shopping for all these stuff, all these equipment, and all these furniture, and all this stuff while we're moving. So that tells us, oh, we're ready.
Yeah.
We're getting all these things, but really, it's not till that first day you're in that class. So you look at, the day before class, you look at that email, and it's like, oh, bam, bam, this 3 chapters are due by next week. And you're like, wait, 3 chapters? 4 chapters? So that's another thing that...
And let's hit that a little bit. I want to dig into that. Speaking about, looking at your stuff before class, I think one of the things that students really don't take into consideration when professors say, when you're first walking on the first day of class, is like, for every contact hour in this class, you have to spend 2 hours outside. Just so y'all are hearing me, pay attention as I say this. At the beginning, now it might change as you go through the semester, but at the beginning, you actually need to dedicate that amount of time into it. Now, each class is going to have a different level of workload that you have to focus on, but for the most part, you actually need to prepare yourself to spend that amount of time in preparation for your class, because college is a full-time job. School is a full-time job. You're taking a full load of classes, and most people are probably working a whole full-time job. So you're basically balancing your work, your schoolwork, and your work, right? You have to dedicate, because you go to your job, they're paying you money. You dedicate your time into it. You dedicate your energy because you want to get compensated fairly. At the same way, you're going to school. Now you're paying this school to teach you information.
Exactly.
Because they've got it. Now, if you figure it out on your own, fantastic. But if you can't figure it out, like quantum physics, not everybody can just sit down and YouTube quantum physics. So if you're trying to learn quantum physics, you have to sit down and dedicate that same energy as you would in your 9 to 5, as you would in whatever job you're working, into your books. Because that is your full-time job. That is what you need to dedicate your energy on. And I think a lot of people, I know I did it. When I first started out, I know I did it.
Oh, no.
You have to dedicate yourself fully into it as if this was your career. Because for the next 4 to 6 years, guess what it is? This is your full-time career. With summer breaks, if you're not taking summer classes, you have to find a way to start thinking at a different level. And that's one way to do it. This is my job. Me sitting in class, I'm on the clock. Me sitting outside of class studying, I'm on the clock. Me going to work out in the gym, I'm on the clock. Me going to eat at the cafe, I'm on the clock. Me hanging out with my friends, I'm on the clock. Because it's not just books. You have to be able to balance yourself out in a way that, yes, you're focusing on your academics, but also you're focusing on sleep, and also you're focusing on socializing. You need all 3. They used to tell me, I remember I came in there like, you have 3 things. You can sleep, socialize, and study, and you can only do 2 out of the 3. That's some BS. That is some BS. You can do all 3. The only problem is learning how to balance it, and we'll talk about that. Learning how to balance it. If you learn how to balance it, and you can definitely dedicate, look at this. Look at this. The number one lesson I've learned through my years when I started college is sleep is important, and sleep reigns supreme. I remember I used to be awake at all types of the night.
Oh yeah.
All types of the night.
Oh, yeah.
3, 4, 5 a.m. I can barely stay awake. Right, Danielle? I can barely stay awake past 10 o'clock now. But here's why. Because I've learned to rebalance my life. So now for me, waking up earlier in the morning is a priority because I have more time. Because I know if I wake up earlier, I can do everything I want to do. Now, if I had the same goddamn mindset when I first started, I could only imagine where I'd be right now.
I agree.
I could only imagine where I'd be right now.
And this is why Timbo's here. That way we could share experiences and knowledges that we've gained. So that way, kids who are in that transition
Yes.
could, kind of learn from us and not make certain mistakes. And, because mistakes going to happen, but that way you kind of have a guide or a map, might say, to help you through. That being said, I am Evans. This is Paul.
I'm Paul.
And this is the Temboway. Thank you for your time.
The transition. Anyway, y'all.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. We'll see y'all.